Hey everybody, welcome to Highly Unlikely. In just a second, we're going to launch into the actual podcast with our guest today. But before we do, if you're an audio-only listener, I just want to give you this opportunity to hop over and catch this podcast on YouTube. You can also listen to it here. But my friend Ricardo, who's here, has a great Haitian Creole accent. I have no problem understanding it, but I also have a very, great North Dakota, Minnesota accent. And so we just wanted to offer subtitles on this episode for any Haitian language or things that are harder to understand. And also wanted to let you know that at the end of the podcast today, we're going to show a video of the work that Ricardo and his wife are doing in the nation of Haiti. So wanted to let you know that here at the start. Otherwise, here's the episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Highly Unlikely with Josh and Jenaye. And to everyone's great disappointment, again today, there is no Jenaye, but she's being mom right now. So it's kind of like,
Jenaye.
Yeah, we miss you, but it's like post-unique time, and she's just spending more time at home after school with the kids. So the only time I could get this superstar that I'm having a conversation with today was in this time slot. So, but really, we're so glad that Ricardo is here, and Ricardo is well known in the Bismarck community as a teacher, as a soccer coach, and he's really well known in the Haitian international community for sure, for soccer and for some other things. But Ricardo, welcome to the pod. Why don't you tell everybody first and foremost about your family?
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Josh. Thank you to the team and everybody listening. Thank you for having me. I have to say that it is an honor to be with you, not only personally the person that you are, but also professionally, what you've done for our community, our state, the growth of Evangel, the work that you do with Lespwa Lavi. So and I mean it, it's a huge honor for me to be here with you with Highly Unlikely podcast. As far as my family, everyone is good. Nika is my wife. Most people know Nika. And my kids are good. I just met them with Grandpa Joel. They were here going over Bible stories. Every Wednesdays, they do that. So, yeah, we are fantastic. We are happy.
Yeah, a whole bunch of boys running around, right?
Correct.
It's Nika and a house full of boys. So, Ricardo, I know tell people about what you do like in the community with teaching and with soccer and other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, most people may know that I played soccer professionally. I played in France. I played in the United States. I was on the Haitian national team for 9 years. But most people don't know that it was very highly unlikely that I am present here at the Highly Unlikely podcast because I started playing soccer for the opportunity to eat a meal. With the opportunity that soccer offer, I was able to come to college in the United States. I graduated with a bachelor degree in business, economics, and finance. I went on to get my master degree in education. I am a teacher at Bismarck High School. I am an author. And I am an entrepreneur serving a big soccer academy here, Magic Soccer Academy, helping kids develop the soccer skills while they reach their full potential on and off the field.
It's awesome. And okay, I forgot. Yeah, I have to ask you a question.
Lespwa Lavi.
Yes, I have to ask you a question from the dish. Okay. I always forget when Jenaye's not here. Everything just falls apart. But this kind of fits in with everything you said because you've been in business, you've played soccer, you're an entrepreneur, author, all these things. And so, and I'll answer it too, but who has been your career role model? Like who, in all these things that you've done, like who have you looked up to help you dream and aspire to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've actually thought about this before. Today I was just thinking about that question. There have been many people, that have impacted me, to be where I am today. My coaches, my teachers, my friends. But if I had to say my role model is my father. and this may get a little emotional.
Yeah.
My father could not read or write his own name, and he had a vision, and his vision was me. He was a tap driver. He drives a brightly painted vehicle as a
Like
taxi.
a taxi.
Yeah.
Yep.
And earning less than 25 cents per day. And with this vision in mind that he had, his vision was his hard work and his dignity of providing for our family.
Where was he driving at?
In Leogane, there's the town, the city of Leogane, and then there is a small suburb of the town that is called Dufour, about 4 to 5 miles from the town center. So he would drive the taxi back and forth, get people, 10 people at the time, because it's a small thing. Some people will be hanging in the back, and so those people will pay a small fee. But he was not the owner of the car, so he would get 10% of the proceeds. So he valued me a lot, and my dad, dream or vision was not just for me. Even though he was making a few cents at the time, he did not fully live to see the fruits of his labor, because my dad passed away in 2020. He had seen my accomplishment in soccer. He never missed a soccer game. But yeah, that's something that touched me a lot. So having him in my life showed me, his embodiment, his whole being, paying for my school uniform, persevering. I think shaped my story from an early age. And I use everything in the soccer pitch, because it was never fun playing professionally. It looks good on the outside, but it was a battle every time stepping on the soccer field, and especially playing in Haiti. We get players. I mean, everywhere there are players, but the competition is more fierce because the opportunities are less. So
people here say like basketball is life, like they really love basketball, but to kids in Haiti, soccer literally is life.
It
for
is,
them.
yeah.
It's how they get food, how they can get education. I mean, it's attached. So I think that was part of what happened with you, right? Soccer really opened doors that there were no other way to open.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we don't play for fame. We played for the opportunity around soccer. So everything counts.
Yeah. So you were trained in soccer, and I mean, tell everybody, because I know like it's truly like, not that you're rich now, but it's a rags to riches story.
Yeah.
But tell people just how desperate it got for your family.
Yeah. So like I said, my father, did not earn enough. Obviously we were 6 in the family, and my mother, even the opportunity to eat a meal was very scarce. And my mom did not have an education either. And she was selling firewoods, just to contribute a little bit at the home. And I had my grandmother who was in Canada, and my older sister immigrated to Canada. And with their help, they were able to help support the 6 of us. So yeah, it was very difficult. And with the path, soccer was everything. And like I always say, wherever I go speak, it was God's vision. Sometimes those hard moments, shape the future. Like I said, today I'm speaking with you here. It's a big honor. Being in the United States, it's not something that I take for granted. And throughout everything that I do, that's why I succeed, because I had no choice. So it was very, very tough.
Yeah. Well, to honor your dad's legacy, he made a really good investment.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just what you've done, and now not just turning that into like fame and glory for yourself, but how much you're helping other people and helping kids. And I know he was proud already, but man.
Thank you.
Yeah, really incredible.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Josh.
So I know that you, as a kid, you started playing soccer. You didn't even have soccer balls to play with at that time, right? You were using garbage or
Yeah.
like just different things off the street. And then what was kind of the breakthrough moment?
Yeah, really. My first tryout with an organized team, I was cut from the team, and really, I wasn't good. I wasn't good enough. It was more like something that I wanted to do out of fear. A friend challenged me to go play soccer, and I was very nervous. You know, I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone because I was very bad at soccer, and all I did was school because I went to somewhat free and quality education in Haiti, the Catholic school system, and that was the success of my dad. You know, having his son be able to go to that school. My mom, same thing. It was precious to us because I couldn't mess that up because at that school, that Catholic school, you had to perform, you had to maintain a certain GPA. And if you didn't perform, you would be kicked out of school. And with my family, they wouldn't have been able to afford school tuition if I didn't succeed at school. So with the soccer story, then I was always afraid to play soccer because the healthcare system in Haiti is not the best. And if you get hurt, your life is basically over. So when I went to the tryout, I didn't do well, but I knew that I was not gonna do well. And the coach said that we are not gonna feed you anymore because we are trying to prepare the team for the next competition. Because soccer is like a religion in Haiti; it's serious, even at U13 soccer.
Yeah, and if everybody just missed what you just said, like went to your tryout, weren't good enough, and the response from the coach was, "We're not going to feed you anymore."
Yeah,
like
humiliation.
Like everything on the line.
Everything was on the line. And then in 1 week, I was not part of the team altogether. So I couldn't come back. So at that point, I really enjoyed the game of soccer. You know, it was a distraction to me from poverty. And, all I knew was books. You know, I studied in candlelight and I had to perform in school. So now I started playing that game and it was fun. You know, I had friends. So with that, I went back and I continued to play street soccer. So that was the breaking point for me. I was playing, street soccer is also serious in Haiti. You get people all over the roof of the house looking over down. You know, it's dusty. There's music. It's life. Throughout the whole city, they have different types, different tournament of street soccer. So a coach of the other academy spotted me, and he saw the potential in me. Then he invited me to join that other academy, something that the other coach did not see in me. So from there, to make a long story short, I beat that same team that caught me in the final. I scored 3 goals, and I went to regional. I made the national team that same year, and then 4 years later, I was the best player in my age in Haiti.
How old were you when you first made the national team?
I went to the U15 national team, so I was 14 years old. It was a residency program where I had to go to school, play soccer, everything soccer, and we traveled, so yeah.
So then when did you end up coming over to the States for university?
Yeah, so I spent about 3 years at the center, and I got an opportunity to go to France on a future pro contract. And that was always the dream, and that's the avenue every player wants to get to. Playing in Europe is the big leagues around the world. So I got that opportunity to be a future pro player at the E78 Academy. So I was at that residency program in France. 7 months later, I was going to turn 18 and I did not sign the big pro contract. It was due to a very famous soccer player that people listening who are fan of soccer will know. His name is Emmanuel Adebayor. He played for Real Madrid. He played for Metz. Then from Metz, he went to Monaco. It's another first division team in France. And then he went to Real Madrid. So he played for Arsenal. He's a big time player. So they signed him instead of me. So I had to return to Haiti. And that's when I made the decisions. After I played a year and a half of soccer in Haiti, then I came to the United States to college because I was afraid at that time that opportunities were slipping away from me.
So then you played at college?
Yeah, I played college.
And then after that, you were signed to the MLS?
Correct, yeah.
So for the hardcore soccer fans.
Yeah. So I did really well in college, and education was always my foundation. So I've always wanted to receive a degree. At the time when I was recruited by Coach Henry Moyo to come play soccer for Lee University in Tennessee, I kind of declined the offer because I know how hard it was because I did not speak a word of English, and I had to pass the SAT at the time. And also my vision, my goal was to make it back to Europe and play professionally and having more opportunity to change my story, my family's life, and all that stuff. I was very close. And then for some reason, God changed the path. And I decided to come to soccer in the United States. I did not speak a word of English. I had to take the ACT test in English. So I did well in college, academically and athletically. And after 3 years, I had to graduate in 3 years and a half because I only had a scholarship for 3 years. So I did graduate after 3 years and a half. And then I was drafted number 22 pick, the second international player to be taken from the draft by the Columbus Crew. Yeah, and then that year, I was very fortunate. It was a very good team. We won the Major League Soccer Cup in the United States. So for the people listening, you know, some people have a career of soccer, like 15 years. Some guys even play like almost 20 years. They have never won a cup before. So having to win a cup, you know, a major league cup, you know, is a big deal. And today you hear like Lionel Messi just won the MLS Supporter Shield. I have the same title as Lionel Messi. That's like
all right.
Beyond.
So what's the biggest match you ever played in, and what's the biggest player you've ever played against?
Yeah.
Or with?
Yeah. Biggest match I have ever played, you know, would be against a team in Haiti. That's one of them. There are so many games because that game was very hard because soccer is everything for us. You know, it's a game. We weren't playing for the championship. We were just playing to stay alive in the first division. You know, because if you don't perform in sports or in our leagues around the world, soccer leagues, you have to get down to the lower division. So I think in terms of the best game or the most favorish game that I've played in was playing against Brazil. You know, playing against guys that were our idols. You know, like Ronaldo. You know, which I model my playing game after him by watching him. You know, and then now those guys were on the same pitch with me. You know, touching them, shoulder to shoulder with them. So I think that was the biggest game that I have played on the international stand, you know, like playing against Ronaldo. And Ronaldinho, for those of you who don't understand soccer, those guys, that team won 1998 World Cup in the United States. They also won the 2002 World Cup, you know, so we were playing against those guys. Yeah, like champions of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, Brazil is huge.
Yeah, huge. I mean,
yeah.
That's
really, really cool. All right, soccer fans, we scratched your itch. So what I want to talk about then is you meet Nika.
Yes, I met Nika, yeah.
And so how did you end up married to Nika and in Bismarck? Yeah,
absolutely. And I think this what have changed the trajectory of my life forever for the better. You know, coming to a country where I did not know any English, you know, and I had to relearn, and it was a different life. You know, it's like, if to put this in perspective, it's like I've lived 19 years of my life in America, and I'm in Haiti, and I come to America, and I had to restart over again with everything you can imagine. So Nika was in pre-med major at the university, and I was in business major. So we never crossed the path because the science was, you know, the science building were away from the business buildings. So a friend who was on my soccer team introduced me to her, and then we started dating. and we got married in 2009, December 2009, in Bismarck, North Dakota. My first time in Bismarck was in 2007 because I came here to meet Nika's family. So yeah, it was fun. It was fascinating to me. You know, it was cold and seeing snow and all that stuff. So it was good. And we got engaged a year after that. Like in 2010, I was still playing soccer, and I was playing in the MLS and also the USL, the second division in the United States. And then she decided, after we got married, then Nika decided to go to medical school, like PA school in Ohio, so that way we could be together still. And we lived in Ohio for about 5 years. And back in 2013, then we moved back to Bismarck. And again, that's a life-changing move because with that, you know, I had, you know, because I know you're going to talk about Lespwa Lavi, I'll just maybe lead to that. So in 2013, before 2013, I was trying to help in Haiti, you know, just to expand God's vision, you know, impact people and you know, help other people. So with that, fast forward to 2010, the kids that I was helping, because I was paying school tuition for them, just on my own, I was just helping those kids. And then 2010...
Paying tuition for kids back in Haiti to go to school.
Yeah, and then those kids died in the 2010 earthquake. It was a very devastating moment to me. You know, I was trying to do good, and then this happened. You know, it was very hard. And then in 2013, you know, obviously I was living here in Bismarck, and then I think it was one of the very first time that you preached at the church here, and you said, "We have to put our big boy pants on," and that always stayed in my head. You know, that's after Pastor Doug left Evangel.
Yeah.
And you also said something that was very strong to me. You said, you always use the term like, you have to be someone's Jesus. And at the time, I was very discouraged. You know, like I was helping in Haiti. I don't know if I'm good enough to do too much in Haiti, and I don't know what's going to happen. And then that's at that point, Lespwa Lavi, Nika and I, we founded Lespwa Lavi because we had to, you know, with your vision and your model of teaching, we had to get out and make an impact, not just be fed here at church, but also get out and impact other people's life.
Right. So before we talk about Lespwa Lavi, because I do want to talk about that.
Yeah.
All this is in a book.
Yeah.
Right. And people can, do you want to tell them about the book quick?
Yeah. The book is a fascinating book. It's around my story. The title is Hunger for Hope. Hunger for Hope, you know, it's a book that can serve as a motivation for someone living in America. Sometimes, you know, based on your sentences, because you forward the book for me, we live in a world that is desperate for hope, you know, and full of calamities like poverty, social injustice. And like you said, we can lose hope because of those calamities. We can turn a blind eye, or we can reach out for hope and provide hope. And with that, the books serve as a motivation for anybody who are thinking or don't know where to start, because we each have a story, you know, for God's vision. So the book can help someone find their story, and they can provide hope instead of losing hope. So for the people in Haiti, in terms of that population, the book explains, you know, the system in Haiti, and it explains like through perseverance that Haitians can get out of poverty and they can do great things. So it's a very good book, and you know, Lespwa Lavi is the solution from the book. So I don't want to explain the book too much. So I'll recommend that people go and read it.
I remember reading it on an airplane and not being able to put it down. I remember sobbing, while I was reading it. There's particularly one story about how your mom provided dinner one night.
Yeah.
That I can't even talk about. And it just reminds me of like the fact that we're sitting here together is such a miracle.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the really like the providence, the divine hand of God.
Absolutely.
And that's the stuff that I look at, and people can say, man, what a coincidence, or whatever. But I'm like, no, like God, you came back to Bismarck, within about a year of when I started leading the church. And there's more and more people where I'm like, no, God has aligned things, according to his purpose. And so I remember when, I vaguely remember when I met you, but then I remember you and Nika coming and telling us about kids who needed sponsorships and everything that was going on in Haiti at the time, which is obviously disintegrated, even worse, and continues to be up and down still today. I remember you talking to me about the connection between soccer and food and education, and how important that was for kids to be able to have hope for life, and hope for a future. And so you kind of developed this thing, Lespwa Lavi, and I remember even out of that, a church kind of being birthed. And this is the thing I've learned about you and Nika is like, you're going to do this one thing, and then all of a sudden you're doing all these things and this one thing. Right. So it started as like an academy for kids in soccer, and out of it has come education and child advocacy, and empowerment for girls, and the church, nutrition, and all these nutrition, all these different things. And I'll just never forget some of the early stories of, hey, we're going to do this thing in this country, and the voodoo witch doctors are opposed to us, and there's gang violence happening, and we don't know if the food that we're sending is actually going to be able to make it there. And it's like every possible thing that you could have get in the way.
Yes, a lot of roadblocks.
And then now I get updates from you guys. Some of our staff gets regular updates, but I probably only get to sit with you and really hear about it once a year or once every 2 years. And I continue to just be blown away by like the perseverance, and even the stuff that you guys brought to me this week. I was like, wow, in the midst of assassinations and chaos and gang violence and open warfare in the streets, hope lives. It's just amazing. So
hope is alive.
Yeah, hope is alive. And so talk about like the reason you called it Lespwa Lavi, and whatever you want to say just about Lespwa Lavi and what it is.
No, I think you paint the picture well, Pastor Josh. Thank you. It's God's vision. And Lespwa Lavi in Haitian Creole means hope for life. The mission is to provide opportunity for Haitians, so they can change their own communities with the power of Christ. And with that mission, we started as a soccer academy because that's all I knew, and soccer was my passion, and I felt like it was going to be good if I could, educate some coaches in Haiti and provide, the funding, either through Evangel or other corporate donors or other donors in North Dakota, just to give that community some opportunity, because I truly believe that the Haitians are capable. One thing they lack of is opportunity. So having to give them opportunity, they can be the drivers, and they know what the communities need, and they can take care of their own communities. So with that, soccer was my stronghold, and soccer is also, the biggest thing in Haiti. When there's World Cup, whatever it is, everything is closed. There's no work. There's no church. I'm sorry to say that, but so with that,
I remember standing in a bank in Chile, and not understanding how big of a deal soccer was, and I was just standing in the line, and there's people behind me, and there's a little TV on the wall, and this guy, this Chilean man, was like, "Get out of the way!" I mean, he was like angry at me, gonna take me out because my head was in front of the. Yeah, like so mad, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in a soccer playing country.
Yeah.
I gotta be a little bit more aware. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's huge. So having to build the mission of the organization around soccer, because with soccer, we can use that as a vehicle to help the children forget about hardship. And we can use soccer to provide a meal for them. We can use soccer to teach them about Christ. So that was our goal. And, as we serve in Haiti, the country, as many of you know, is always in a constant spiral of turmoil, Year after year, the people endure natural disasters, political upheaval, extreme poverty, gang violence lately. So it's been like building. And today, fast forward to today, it's the worst we have ever seen it. And yet, God, we never stop, God keep pushing us, And from soccer today at Lespwa Lavi, we have over 350 kids in the feeding program. And we started with 2 soccer teams, barely have, 30 kids in the program. So today we have church outreach. We have child advocacy program. We have people that are advocating for the children in the program, because most families cannot read. So we have people that are working on the behalf of those kids to help improve their life. We have a school building. We have a campus. So yeah, we see that despite all the issues, all the roadblocks in Haiti, God continued to expand His vision, through Lespwa Lavi. So it's fascinating. It's hard to explain. It's just a complete miracle,
Yeah. Can you, whether you want to tell the story of Wayfidens or can you tell a story of some of the kids and even like what it's meant to them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the biggest story, and I'm speaking in Wishik over the weekend.
Okay.
So I put that in my speech, and I use that story often too, and I like the story. There's a young girl named Christella. Christella, when we started, was part of our program. She was a little bit older by the time, we started the program, but she was part of our first girls soccer team, in a place where girls are supposed to be at home doing chores. And even with school, the literacy rate in Haiti for girls is today it's about 55%. So that means half girls have a chance to attend school. And for boys, it's around 60%. And when families have to choose who goes to school, because sometimes they don't have enough money to pay school tuition for two children, if they have a boy and a girl. So they have to choose to send the boy to school because they use the girls as, the person that can do chore at home, that can help maintain the home. So with Christella, she was able to be part of the team that we started, and people didn't understand that we have boys soccer team, because in Haiti, if you go in every community, it's mostly like the boys playing, the girls are just watching while they're at home doing chores. So we were able to start that soccer team later on that got recognized by FIFA, because FIFA then, in Europe, they're starting to do women's soccer because the United States has so much success with women's soccer. So Europe was building women's soccer, being part of the leagues. So FIFA recognized us, our team. Christella was part of that team, and she was part of our very first girls soccer team. And Christella's story is good because it's the same as my story. So meaning like her family, live in a very modest home that is made of more than steak, and the roof of her house leaks when it rains. So very, very difficult condition. But like her parents also believe in the power of education. So Cristela was able to get educated, with the help of people here through our program. And she went through our program and she graduated. So she went to university. And now today, Cristela is working in our program and advocating for young girls as well. So I think it's a very powerful story when we talk about vision, that keep expanding, like sometimes the work that we do or the support that we provide. And that's why I'm big on helping others, because that's what we were created for.
Yeah.
So impact will be made even after we are gone. So that's the power of God's kingdom. When we contribute to help other people, and I think that's the best way to contribute to the expansion of God's kingdom. By serving one another and help support one another.
Right. So now there's kids that 300 or so kids that are involved in the school.
Yeah.
Soccer is happening.
Yes.
There's a feeding program.
Yeah.
There's a church of about 250 people. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Baptizing people, gathering.
Yes.
Soccer helps draw people also.
Yes.
To the church. I know you guys have mentioned voodoo a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge part of the religion in Haiti. And I know you told me of a family that is entrenched in that, whose daughter has been a part of the programs. And even as tell the story, Ricardo, of when you were just trying to acquire the land.
Yes. Yeah.
And people going out and praying, and there was lights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Can you tell
exactly.
that story of of at the end? It's just so powerful. Just kind of at the origins of all this coming to being.
Absolutely.
Because you guys just this last year built a building, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And so this is before all that, when it was all kind of a vision and how do we get this done?
Yeah. Nika and John Dwyer can tell the story better than me, but I'll do my best.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very powerful story. Thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah.
So, having to, because we used to go to Haiti, to serve medical trips, outreach, soccer, whatever people can help serve, people would come with us to Haiti to do those things. So we got to the level that the program was expanding, and we're fulfilling the vision, and we wanted to buy land. And one of the community member offered to give us the land, like 10-acre land that we have our campus built on today. So that land, was a land that was
and
away
part
from
of
the
this,
city.
can I just tie in?
Yeah.
I mean, this is part of the providence and the sovereignty of God, because a lot of the doors have been opened are because of the skill God gave you in soccer.
Yes.
People know you carry a Sharpie around to sign autographs, I was told. But it's not about you.
I still remember everything.
I do. Because you're just such a big deal. I got to remember. But I find it amazing, because some people would be like, oh, it's so disappointing that the Europe thing didn't work out, or that you didn't go further in the MLS.
Exactly.
But now you're affecting the lives of these kids, and God is using it all for his glory. And now that stuff that people would look at and say, wow, that didn't turn out the way that maybe if you wanted all the glory for yourself, how you would have wanted it to turn out.
That's huge.
But God is using it in a different way, where now it's opening doors for land and for, we were in a meeting the other day, and you were talking about trying to get concrete or whatever for a building, and you're like, oh, I know another guy, and how God has now used that to really build what he wanted to build all along. I just, I hope people can catch that. That just because you had a disappointment, just because you had a disappointment in life, doesn't mean that it's all falling apart. God might have something even more meaningful down the road for you.
Exactly, yeah. And you can track it down all the way to my dad. Which is thanks for mentioning that.
I just feel like that's important for people, because God is using it for his glory.
Exactly. People can use the story and do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. So at that point, they decided to give us the land. Again, it was also, they knew my status in Haiti.
Yeah.
And the person who was giving the land was the son, and the dad was very ill, and he was in Canada at the time receiving care. And that land, like I said, was like voodoo priests, because the land was not occupied. So that's where the voodoo priests do the ceremony, they do the sacrifices. You know, it was a land in Haiti, we would say, that was full of evil.
Are they sacrificing
goat,
not
pig, people
potentially?
Yeah, in some areas. I don't, like they do a lot of wrong, so they would capture the spirit of the person. Voodoo is very complicated.
Very
so
dark.
The person is dead, the body is dead, but they capture the spirit somehow. Yeah.
Just real intense darkness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Deep darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to explain it. Yeah. So with that, that's the land that we were offered, and the locals were telling us, and the locals, they knew, they knew before we knew. They're like, in order for this thing to happen, because people have promised, Haitians are very skeptical about things because we have a corrupt government, like we've been told a lot of lies, if you think from colonial to imperialist system, if there's one. So if they say, if this thing is going to happen, we need to start praying. And then that's when they started a small church, and that's the church today. So they started meeting and started praying, and then they founded a church on the land before we had possession, like official possession of the land. So to make a long story short, so by the day that we were supposed to get the land, we all happened to be in Haiti. EMI was doing the design of the campus. John Dwyer, Maria Dwyer, Kate and Hans, most of our board members, we were in Haiti serving. So now we went to the notary to sign the paper, and the guy said that we can't sign the paper because the owner of the land is not there. And then he felt like we were like, because the land have like deep history, in Haiti. And I don't think we have time for me to say the history. Land is something that goes from generation to generation. And it's something that is precious, like a lot of family fights around land. Maybe something like that too in the United States, but in Haiti it's just different. If you think of our constitution and having to gain our independence, the first Black independent country from France, having the separation of the land. So history from there was very hard. So many people died, so many sacrifices, just to be able to separate lands and things like that. So yeah,
so it's very precious.
Yeah, it's very precious. So with that, the
was I supposed to be there with you?
Yes.
Was that trip?
Yeah, it was that
and my
trip.
flight got canceled.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I forgot about that.
And we could have used you.
This is becoming more. That's so disappointing that I missed it.
Yeah, you could have helped us a lot, because we got to the point in the negotiation, because what happened in that minute is like, oh yeah, we're ready. We're going to sign the papers for the land. John Dwyer was there. Capo engineers from EMI was there. And who else was there? Yeah, so that was us. We were just going to go sign the land and then, be ready, because the engineers that were working, they already did all the design. We just wanted to have documentation so that way we could, show to the donors when we come back to the United States and all that. So now at that moment, the guy didn't trust us. He said that I can't let you guys sign the papers because the land is not being given by the true owner of the land, and he's ill right now. He's in Canada, so I'll need to get his confirmation. And then I said, yeah, no problem. You can call him. So he was trying to call the guy, and nothing, no call. So if you think about it, when we think of miracles, that guy was ill to the point that he was gonna die. He could have been dead, and if he was dead, no land could have been passed on. That would have been a different estate,
Yes.
for his children and all that stuff. So he tried to call the guy, and nothing happened. And he's very close with the guy because he's replacing the guy as a notary in Haiti. So he said, he looked at us in the eye and he's like, explain to me, why are you guys here? You know? And I believe John Dwyer said, you know, we are here because we care about the people of Verret, and we are here to do God's work. And then the guy said, okay, I'll be right back. He didn't comment at all about what John said. And then we were just waiting, like complete silence for 2 minutes. And then he came back. He's like, God told me that I can have you guys sign the paper, or I can deliver the land to you guys. He gave us the land without the approval of the main owner. And he said, he's my good friend, you know, and I will do the final paperwork with them. So the land will be delivered to you guys, because I sense that God is working, you know, within each one of us here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I remember them too talking about just that time of prayer and like how people would just go out to the land and pray. Right. And we've experienced some of that. I don't think people really understand that that's not just like there's voodoo in Haiti and so you have to pray. But even when we started our Dickinson campus, everybody told us this is where church plants go to die.
Yes.
Like there's all these church plants that have tried to come into Dickinson, and I was in Dickinson and I saw churches struggle to kind of break through.
Wow.
And Jenaye was actually the one who said, let's just look into some of the history of what's in that community. And let's look into like, where do we need to do spiritual warfare so that the answers will come? And that's where I feel like we've told the church, we've gotten an education this year.
Wow.
In the things that you can be up against when you're trying to do God's work in a certain area, and how prayer has to be at the forefront.
Wow.
Not just effort or money. It has to be prayer, or you just continue to like hit roadblocks and things can fall apart. And so I feel like we're even getting an education here that this is not just an international thing or in a country like Haiti, but it is, even as the church seeks to expand and reach people, it is so spiritual, and there has to be prayer.
Definitely.
You know, that goes out in front of it. And so we people ask us all the time, this is being recorded in October, and recently people are like, hey, for Pastor Appreciation Month, how can we appreciate you? And I'm like,
pray. Like
appreciate our other pastors, like bless them, you know, get them a gift card, but will you pray for us? Like, will you just pray for us?
Wow.
Because that is, it's the most needed thing, you know, and you guys experience that too. And then God just opens opportunities that you go, wow, you know, that was the Lord. So we are going to, we regularly support Lespwa Lavi right now as a church. Just for those that are listening, I think it's about $18,000 a year, about $1,500 a month. That's mostly going to cover the salaries of the pastors at the churches and the annual budget of the church. And then next year we just talked together, and I'm still looking at it, but I think we're going to try to support some more work that you guys are doing. I'm specifically really excited about, there's some classes that are coming into school, kindergartners and first graders who don't have anybody financially supporting them. And for just not very much money at all, you can get these kids an education. I know you guys have individual sponsorships that are about $38 a month that people can participate in.
Correct, yeah.
As a church, we're going to try to take on a whole class, at least one.
Oh, wow.
And
Thank you.
next year, and hopefully just rally around that. And man, it's just, I asked our board one time, I said, what are the things that you guys want to support in Legacy Makers? And they said, we want to go to the places where we're really making a difference for the kingdom.
Huge. Yeah.
You know, and I look at what we're doing in Alaska. I look at what we're doing with Lespwa Lavi, and so many other things. And it's like, these things make a real difference in the kingdom. Yeah. And so I'm just blown away by you guys, you know, and all the stuff you're doing, and Nika too. I mean, Nika deserves so much credit and honor for, because you're the big visionary.
Yeah,
you know, I know that.
She make things happen,
and she puts the pen to the paper and with the team and helps make it happen. So,
yeah, no, I mean that's exactly right. The way you pencil it out. First off, thank you so much to you, your leadership, Pastor Janice, you know, the staff here. I mean, I could not have been more thankful. And I think I like the way you put it in words, the way you said, those cents, dollars are going miles.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible, and it's wonderful. I'm so thankful for North Dakota, Bismarck, for all that people do and support Lespwa Lavi. And like you said, the power of prayer. I remember one time we were coming out of Haiti. I was with John Dwyer and Maria. We were in the car. We were trying to, because we saw the needs, in Haiti. And the Haiti that I lived, was like luxury compared to the Haiti today.
Oh, yeah.
Day and night. So we were trying to do the math, how can we solve the hunger problem, like immediate need. The children were struggling. There was no food. They all were on campus when we were doing all the activities like soccer, medical stuff. And we could not come up with a way where we would find enough money to feed those kids. And at the time we had around maybe 140 of them. It was impossible. Like John Dwyer is a financial guy, and I'm good with math, and I know finance as well. And we just couldn't come up with a solution, and we were trying to say, how about if we grow food from the ground, like we start farming, which is big in Verret as well. Like, okay, now they have to wait. They still will be hungry. And then Maria said, why don't you guys just, 4 a.m. we're talking, why don't you guys stop talking and let God take care of it, and start praying about it instead of, because we're kind of going back and forth. This is good, but this is not good. And when we got back from the United States, we got a connection through Mission of Hope.
Yes.
And that
which is another connection, because Carson Wentz works with Mission of Hope and built a facility down there, which is down the road from Verret.
Yeah.
But also helping in Haiti.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that, as you mentioned, prayer and, the power of prayer, you know, and how far the support can go.
Right.
That's huge. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to land the plane, but I just want you to hang out on the podcast. If you've been listening to this in the audio version, then take time to flip over to YouTube, and we're going to attach a video from Lespwa Lavi on the end of this podcast, just so you can see a little bit more in real time, just the work that's happening down there. So Ricardo, I love you. I'm so grateful for you as a friend, and I'm inspired by you. I mean, literally I'm sitting here thinking, I can do more for the kingdom. I can do more to make a difference in people's lives. And so thank you for coming early and taking time to just share your story. I hope everybody listening grabs the book. I hope that you guys listen to the video and watch the video, because there's so much work to do. And we're just believing God that country is going to settle down, come back to order. And then we're just going to take hundreds of people from Evangel down there and go, because I know there's people just anxious to go meet these kids and see the work and get some more buildings built.
Yeah. So. Thank you, Pastor Josh. Likewise, it was a great honor for me to be here. And I mean it, having to sit next to you, talking about Haiti and my passion and learning from you. You have been a great friend, a great teacher, and a great pastor of ours. And I appreciate you and Pastor Jenaye, your leadership. I mean, it's big things for North Dakota. And, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do, not just for me, but for everybody in this community and North Dakota and all over the United States now, which is a unique conference that just happened last week. I mean, the work that you guys do is precious. And
thank you.
It's beyond borders.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like we also need to give a shout out to Pastor Bryce, because he has helped you guys strategically, but also been in contact with the pastors at the church
teaching them.
Teaching them and training them, and nobody really even knows about it. He just does it.
He does it on there. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, he's mentoring the pastor down there, and I mean they are in love with him, and obviously we know Pastor Bryce is very good strategist, good teacher, and the work that he's doing with them is humongous. It's adorable. Yeah.
Yes. Appreciate it. Thank you all for listening and hang out just for a second and just check out this video about Lespwa Lavi.
In Haiti, there's nothing. The country is so poor. You can't go to school. Basically, you have no hope in life. Like, you cannot do anything if you don't even go to school. The country is already poor. I know that without education, I wouldn't be standing today, and without education, I wouldn't be who I am today. My own father is illiterate. He couldn't help me do my homework. I feel like I have to help kids like me that was on the street playing soccer with the balloon balls, with no shoes.
Ricardo met our director, Haitian director Duvelsain, and they started a soccer program, and it started to grow into more of a soccer program, and they had more kids and started putting teams together and getting coaches.
For me, I have been in football all my life. We all knew about Ricardo. Ricardo was the star of the national team. But it was really hard to reach him at the time. Then finally, I heard back from him and I started celebrating. Then the first thing he asked me, he said, "Are you serious about what you want to do?" Then I told him I was really serious and I want to move this project forward.
We asked him what he needed, and we thought he was going to say, well, soccer equipment and thousands of dollars to do all these things. And he said, no, the kids are coming to training and we're doing training, but they have to stop because they haven't eaten for days, and they can't get through the training because they don't have any water. So he asked us to provide a meal for them so they could have a meal during their soccer practice. Ricardo just saw that the need in Verret went far beyond what we were doing. There's only enough school buildings to educate about 50% of the children who live here. In addition to that, the type of education that the kids were getting here just didn't really prepare them to have any opportunities outside of the very poor farming community here.
If you ask any of those kids here in the street of Verret, what do you want to do when you grow up? They dream big. They'll tell you, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor. But yet the country doesn't provide that for them.
There's a lot of kids that can't go to school financially. If it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be able to go to school.
At Lespwa Lavi today, with all that has been going on in Haiti, gang violence, roadblocks, inflation, and everything like that, the most important thing that we need to focus on is to develop leaders, because that's what Jesus did. We feel like if we can do a good job down on the ground in Haiti, especially impacting the community of Verret, because if we can impact one little community, then we can create more impact.
Last fall, the government ordered schools to be closed. So we knew that we had to do something quickly. So these teachers and our advocates came together to start a tutoring program for Lespwa Lavi, and they were able to safely meet on the soccer field. It was one of the only places that was safe at that time. And that program opened the door for us to actually launch our own academy and open some doors for us to go ahead and be able to build classrooms on our own land.
We want an education where everybody have a chance and everybody has opportunity to become the best that they can become, and they can compete for universities anywhere around the world.
Bonsoir, moi c'est Wilson Lexus. Moi crois que Lespwa Lavi li pote un pile changement dans la communauté. Parce que nous venons être capable de réussir, c'est pas seulement par rapport avec l'école, mais tout le monde est capable de réussir au point de vue économique. Moi, je que pour l'Amérique, Lespwa Lavi a fait un travail dans la communauté. C'est qu'il y a un travail qui valorise en pile nos sportifs par parents. Dans ce sens, je remercie tout le monde qui a sponsorisé le programme, tout même dans le programme.
Je suis Danilis, j'ai 13 ans. Je suis à Lespwa Lavi School, Ricardo, Pierre. Depuis que je suis tout petit, je parlé de Lespwa Lavi. Mais moi, j'aime Lespwa Lavi en pile. Et puis, je suis à l'école là, je suis à l'académie. Je suis l'école là en pile. Et puis, je suis à tout professeur dans l'école là. Je suis sponsorisé. Je vis avec maman, avec une soeur, papa, Saint-Domingue. La vie permet de m'avancer. Il permet de m'avancer.
When we talk about hope, we are not talking about aid. We are talking about a sustainable program where children can get to go to school and be educated at a level where they can leave Haiti and enter university and reach out opportunity. Lespwa Lavi is not the driver. We are the passenger. The Haitians are the driver. We are here to provide hope to those people. And I believe with the staff and the people that we have on the ground in Haiti, we will be able to fulfill our mission, fulfill our vision, and provide more hope and multiply hope in Verret and in the whole Haiti.
Merci parce que nous supportons Magic Soccer en Haïti.